That's probably enough of a delay. I'm Eric Allen. I'm here with Joe Drilling.
Hello.
We're going to tell you if this game, Genesis or Genesisn't, good or not. That's not proper phrasing. Anyway, this week we're going to play some Landstalker. We're going to check out, what is it? The Treasures of King Noel.
Yeah.
Old King Noel, you know that famous poem.
Yeah. Old King Cole was a jolly old
Nope,
soul.
Old King Noel was a jolly old soul.
That's what I said.
Uh,
Nat King Noel,
Nat King Noel.
and all those songs he sang, right?
The King of Crooners. So this is released in 1993, developed by Climax Entertainment. And according to these things I'm looking at, I had a hell of a time getting this all set up. So I did not have time to research. So hopefully Joe looked up some information about this game.
I have some stuff in front of me. Climax Entertainment, I should point out, is not the same as Climax, who does,
Yeah.
like the Mario Golf games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something people should know.
The entertainment is important.
Yes. These are the people who made like Shining Force and Shining in the Darkness.
Shining Force
That's
2 is a great game.
I don't know if they actually made Shining
I don't
Force
think so.
2, though.
I don't think so.
So this is like an isometric Zelda-ish thing.
Oh man, looks like there's a lot of platforming going on here. I'm getting a little bit nervous. Because platforming in either overhead perspective games like A Secret of Mana or Zelda, or in... I guess platforming in isometric games is a little easier because they tend to lock. Everything
Where you
is...
jump like one block.
Right, yeah, it's a little bit more obvious where the grid is, so maybe this won't be as bad, but... What is this? This guy's face, man, is a fucking nightmare. This old man. I don't know if he's supposed to be a boar. I don't know what's going on.
Papa Smurf.
You're a very good treasure hunter. Heh heh heh.
Nigel.
Yeah, everybody speaks in this game definitely speaks with a British accent.
So some
Hand me
people...
that little girl. That's not. It's like a fairy or an imp or something.
Yeah, it looks more like an imp. It's got like bat wings.
Yeah, and horns.
So the translation is not great.
Maybe that's just what.
Oh, is that his girl Friday?
Oh boy. What's with all the jibber jabber?
So as it turns out, I think Nigel.
I told you to give me that
talks-
goyle.
Nigel actually, if that's his girl Friday, then Nigel talks like Cary Grant.
So what? So
Could
this
be
guy is
interesting.
that dude is
Okay.
rolling around with Slog and Gabora or whatever the fuck their names are from Castlevania,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
I can't remember what their names are, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Slow and yeah. What are their names?
I don't know.
Um,
The flying demon and the bird-like creature with the spear.
Well, the creature with the spear is originally from.
The Sega Genesis one, or from
from Super Castlevania 4, isn't it?
Is he from Castlevania 4? I think that one of them might also be in Rondo of Blood, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think you're Gaibon and Slagra.
Okay, I was kind of close.
Yeah, sure.
I got a really bad feeling about all this. I don't know, you're riding around on an awesome giant hawk that is also wearing goggles.
Yes.
I gotta say, this is quite an intro for a 16-bit era game.
Mm-hmm. Have you actually, have you played any of this, or is all his walking been automatic so far?
This has all been happening automatically. Cutscenes,
Why
man, they're ruining modern video games.
Y Signal says, I've always been curious about playing this game. I want them hawk gogs. But that's
Okay.
2,000 golds. Jude.
So I just want you to know, Joe. So if I hit up, he moves in that direction, and if I hit down, he moves in this direction. Okay?
Yeah.
If I hit left, he moves in this direction. And if I hit right, he moves in this direction. So,
sounds like an isometric platforming
oh boy.
game.
Okay, so if I hit the diagonals, he will switch planes. And then lock to that plane. So then up and down and left and right move along that plane instead.
Gotcha. That might be better. I don't know.
Maybe for the platforming stuff, being locked to the plane would be okay. I don't know. It looks like I should be able to do something with this statue and this button, but I can't. Anyway, let's go in the cave. Let's see what's up in this cave. Oh boy. Now, let's start our adventure. Okay. Oh boy. So, in doing a little prep for this, I actually played a little bit of this and realized that I couldn't really stand this control scheme. Fortunately, on Steam, there's the Sega Mega Drive Classics thing, and that has Steam Workshop access. And that version of the game has a mod that makes it control like like Brain Lord or there's some other isometric games that were of the 16-bit era where just like up moved you like in cardinal directions instead of making you switch planes and locking you to a particular side of the grid.
So is this the third or fourth like Zelda-like sort of action RPG thing that we've played on this show?
Third,
Crusader
I think, right?
Senti, right. Crusader of Senti, and then
what was the one that I played that was translated by people? It was King Demon or something like that.
King Demon, yeah. So we haven't done Beyond Oasis yet?
No. All right.
Keep track of which Zelda clones we've... Y Signal says do Beyond Oasis. So we will at some point. I don't know if I want to like play every single Zelda-like game. You know, in the first 20
if I leave,
episodes
it'll reset the box.
I don't know.
Put that box up on the ledge. Okay, there we go.
So
I don't know if the guy is making the noise, the little mrap, or if it's the box that's making that noise. Yeah, see, trying to get to this treasure chest is a little bit of a
hassle.
Yeah.
So when we were emailing about what we were going to do tonight, I think Kurt and somebody else both referred to Alundra, and I don't know if they're just going off of like this kind of sort of looks like Alundra.
Well, the main character of this game kind of looks like the main character from Alundra. I don't know if there's any more connections other than that, but
because I was like, did Climax develop Alundra or something? But
I don't know. That's a good question.
They didn't.
Yeah, it was. I know it was put out by Atlas, but
yeah, it was developed by a different.
Okay.
Developer.
I can't move. I'm riding this raft. Ultros is probably going to attack me at some point.
Probably. There was a remake of this game planned for the PSP in 2005, but it was canceled.
So I think what I might do is I might flip on over to the Sega Mega Drive collection version. So this is being emulated through Kega Fusion, the version I'm playing right now. But I think I'm going to close this and oh my gosh, a man! This is Weird Fox Lady. I think we're gonna flip over to this.
Y Signal says, wasn't there a Dreamcast game that used this character along with other characters? I don't know. I don't think so.
Let's do a little. Let's see. I'm looking
at the games page on Sega Retro, and I feel like that's something that they would definitely point out if that was the case.
Yeah. I think it's so. I have all these games in this Sega Mega Drive Classics collection, and I don't think we've done any of these games, have we? No Echo games. We haven't done Decap Attack, although we might do that come Halloween time. Because that's a pretty scary game.
I mean, I was gonna have you do Gunstar Heroes, but you already have played
Yeah.
it, so we never did.
Wonder
Gunstar
Boy,
Heroes.
Virtua Fighter 2, which that's a hell of a thing.
That is a hell of a thing. It's not a good thing.
No, but it's a
It's a hell
thing.
of a thing. Yeah.
Shadow Dancer, Rystar, Light Crusader. Those are games that I've heard of, but don't really know that well.
Oh, we
Anyway,
did Shinobi. Was that Shinobi we did?
we did Revenge of Shinobi. This is Shinobi
Right,
Return
that's-
of the Ninja Master. Is it the same thing?
That's the same thing. Yes.
Okay.
I think, unless that's Shinobi 3. Oh, it's Shinobi 3. Sorry. So actually, no, we haven't done that one.
Okay.
Revenge of Shinobi isn't in this collection.
It's probably
super
it's
weird.
probably available on Steam, but I don't have it.
Y Signal said Time Stalkers or something. No, let me see. Time Stalkers. There's a Dreamcast game called Time Stalkers, also known as Climax Landers.
I gotta say, I don't much care for this Japanese or this U.S. box art for Landstalker, so we're gonna flip that to the to Japanese box art.
Oh yeah, Sega Retro dropped the ball on that. Yes, as a matter of fact, Nigel and one of the characters from Shining in the Darkness and are all playable in Time Stalkers for the Dreamcast. So yes, Y Signal, you were correct. It's a roguelike, apparently.
So there's the dope ass Japanese box art, which is much better than the U.S. box art. Unfortunately, because of the way the Sega Mega Drive thing frames games with that weird grid pattern, can't show the whole thing, but anyway, I thought I had, let's see here, we'd have to exit and we'll go to save load. I thought I had a, okay. We'll have to sit through the cutscene again because I thought I had a save game after that, but apparently I didn't.
Oh, you can't skip it?
Nope.
Wow.
I'm 100% sure, I know I did it just before we started, that I made a save after the cutscene, but did it save my mods? I may have made a mistake. Okay, no, it's still in there. Okay. It did save the fact that I turned off the awful. So, like by default, they have some filters turned on.
Those hideous like eagle filters. Or
not only is there a filter turned on by default, but there's also like a CRT like bend thing.
Scan lines and shit.
Yes,
I hate that.
Yes, where it turns it from a square into a weird oblate spheroid that's meant to emulate looking at a monitor, but.
Yeah.
Just looks completely unnatural because when you're actually looking at a CRT monitor, you don't notice the way that it's flared at the corners.
Yeah, I don't remember if you and I were the ones who talked about this, but like
we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with that platforming, I missed that the first time. I was like looking at the page and that platforming looks like it's not going to be fun if you ever have to do that yourself. But you know, like when I play a game on my HDMI modded NES, for example, like that's the way I remember. Like I don't remember the artifacting of the TV or the blurred. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember it that way. Like I remember it looking.
Man, I don't like looking at this guy's face. I need to get through this cutscene.
You know, but I remember it looking crisp because it looked as crisp as it could have.
Right. I mean, there's definitely some games where the blur from the light of the pixels not being super sharp made like some characters pop in a way. Like Final Fantasy VI is a great example where like when you smooth out the pixels. Really good, oh yeah, it still looks great, but it also looks really good. Like it does if you take a photograph of somebody playing that on a CRT TV and look at that compared to like the really sharp pixels in an emulator, like you can see that the art was in certain ways intended to be looked at on a CRT monitor. But the problem I've always had is that none of the filters actually look like that.
Right.
Anyway, it's like it's not authentic. Like if there were some filters that precisely emulated the the way that they looked on a monitor would be one thing, but they never actually do. They just look smeary and shitty.
The one that I can think of that comes the closest is on the 3DS with Game Gear Virtual Console games. M2 put in like a perfect Game Gear smear and
so you can't see anything.
Filter. Yeah, you can't see shit. It's terrible.
Great.
Like it's literally like I turn it on just to be like, wow, that's a really great technological accomplishment. That they made it look just as bad as it does on a real Game Gear, but like I don't want to play the game like that.
Supposedly there's some like you can do some futzing around with a frame meister and you can get pretty close.
You can.
And there are some people will tell you that there are some filters that are like that, but having looked at them, it just doesn't. It isn't the same. It's like an either or proposition for me. Anything between isn't good enough. Either I want to play on a CRT. Or just give me the raw dog pixels right in my fucking eyes.
Yeah. I feel the same way. And the scan lines never, like, yes, the FrameMeister has a scan line thing that you can turn on, but it never looks right to me. Like, it never looked like people are always like, oh man, I love those scan lines. I'm like, but they don't look the way real scan lines look. Right. They just look like dark bands across the game, and I fucking hate that. Like, I don't know. It's just me. Maybe, but, I don't like the scan line filter, and I definitely don't like. But even less than that, do I like the smoothing filter? And I don't understand why people use those smoothing filters. In fact, like, I don't know. We talked a little bit about
my
this
2,000 golds
ago. 2,000 golds. We talked about this a little like a couple weeks ago, but Fire Pro World. I'm not sure if it's a smoothing filter or what it is, but I would rather have the blocky pixels because it doesn't look that good.
Yeah, you talked about that.
Yeah, I wish there was an option to just go like give me pixels instead of like this weird smoothing.
So by the way, this mod that makes it control more like Brainlord or there's Equinox, I think, is another Super Nintendo game that was an isometric thing. I believe I think that was a game kind of similar to this.
I can't believe they stuffed livestock into that treasure chest.
But this feels much more natural. This is, like I said, there might be an advantage in some of the platforming sections to having your character locked into that grid, but this just feels like you would expect it to feel. You push up and you move, towards the northwest corner, and down moves southeast, and the other two directions move the other two directions, and it's just like
the lovable Kurt Adam has joined us, by the way.
yes I have.
We're stalking some lands, which this is an action RPG without a lot of action. It seems like all you do is pick up treasure and, weird isometric platforming.
I did cut off and then waste 10 more minutes sitting through that cutscene again, because I thought I had made a save state where
after the cutscene was over.
Yeah, so this rock is gonna chase me. I guess I can't make that jump. I know there's a treasure chest over there that it looks like I should be able to get to, but I can't.
Weird. And can you move? Can you jump off the raft or like?
No, I have no control. I'm just looking at. Must be this is like foreshadowing the rest of the things that are in the dungeon. Yeah, because even in the in the little cutscene at the beginning of the game, it shows you hitting those red-eyed statues, but it didn't look like you were actually fighting those. So I don't know what you can swing a sword, so there must be some kind of combat.
Right.
Oh my gosh, a man. I have to tell Grandpa. He looks very sick.
Was that you saying that or the game?
That's the voice acting in the game. It's the mayor. Mayor Bear and Fair Bear.
Every good town needs a bear mayor. He's awfully welcoming. You can stay in our village as long as you want. It's just like this random.
Are you okay? Take care. Thank you. Okay.
Treasures of Nat King Null.
On the west side of Gummy, the road branches off into two paths at the sea. The right path leads to the big town, Mercator. The left leads to Ryuma, which is famous for its lighthouse.
The right path leads to a town where there's a bunch of maps.
You're just projecting.
They're an atrocious tribe.
Maybe.
Welcome to our church. This is where I save, probably. Oh, man. Is there really a goddess? Bring your book to me.
So Shining in the Dark. Shining Force is like a tactical RPG.
Correct.
But Shining in the Darkness is like a straight up tactics strategy game. Did I have that right?
That's an anti-curse book. Describes various curses. So what do I take this book to him and then...
It looks like those are the healing items, I think.
Must be.
Okay.
But
Saw
you are not
something
cursed,
in one of
okay.
these pages. Yes.
That's a record book, okay.
Right. So if you're
Stacking these
hallucinating, you bring the books to him, and then he will cure your status ailments. So you can. So the detox book cures poisoning.
It's when you get fucked up.
Yeah.
What? I thought I said yes, continue my adventure.
You did.
Oh my god. Did I not?
You did.
No, why did it end the game?
I do not know. You definitely said yes, though. I just watched it.
Oh my god. Well, that's Landstalker. I would like to play some more, but I can't sit through that cutscene again.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, you should play some more before next week, and then just sort of report back what you thought of it.
That's a bummer, man. I could have sworn that I picked the right thing.
You did. I'm telling you. I was watching. You picked. Unless the hitting B automatically chooses no or something. I don't know. But you like the arrow was on yes.
All right. Well, Landstalker seems pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I can actually talk about it because I accidentally ended my game when I tried to save. I didn't want to save. I just wanted to move on. And like I said, I could have sworn that I had made a save game
file, yeah.
in the Genesis thing here, but apparently that did not stick.
Weird.
Oh no, there it is right there. Now it's there.
Your save game?
Yeah.
Oh, because you probably the save. Oh, that is weird. Is that the one you just made? No, that's the one.
No, that's the one I made before I started, right after the cutscene. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on.
So now there's another cutscene of you going down the river and then like talking to the bear family.
Well, I'm gonna hang on here. Livestock. Yeah, there's a cow in that chest.
Yep.
It's a little cow though. I'm not gonna get the golds. And I'll get one more shot at trying to get that chest, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
This definitely, like I said, this definitely seems like a more comfortable way to play this.
Yeah. So based on your limited experience so far, would you say it's better or not as good as Crusader of Senti?
I mean, it's pretty different than that, I guess. Like, that game seemed a little bit more about, just because it's an overhead, I can make the jump. Anyway, just because it's overhead, it plays quite a bit differently than this. But I don't know, I actually went back and played a little bit more Crusader of Senti, and it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I just haven't I haven't had a chance to really put like enough time in it to make a broader judgment about it, but it seems very, very good. I like this quite a bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
isometric games are dope. That it's a cool perspective that nobody really does anymore, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah, do the Shadowrun?
Well, so those are from that perspective, and the backgrounds are static paintings, but those games play much like the movement is all grid based, so they're much more like playing, say, XCOM than playing a game like this, or playing even a game with more tactical combat, like a Baldur's Gate or an Icewind Dale or whatever. There was supposed to be a Dark Souls, a game that was kind of similar to Dark Souls.
Like from software? Or?
No. It's a game not from those people, but it's like an indie developer that was putting out a game that was similar to Dark Souls that had that was played from this perspective. It was an isometric game that with like combat with heavy animation priorities, and I think a mechanic that was similar to collecting souls in the Souls games. I can't think of the title of it, but it looked really cool. The previews of it. I thought it was supposed to be out this year, but I haven't actually heard anything since then. So, Waterfall, Shrine, the Gummy Village, Village of Masan. I just wanted to get into a combat scenario, but there's a rope.
Is Wasteland 2? Is that isometric?
Yeah. That's like a 3D. That's more like a tactical grid-based kind of a thing, though. As well. That's not an action game. So like this is more similar to like Crusader, No Remorse, and those types of games.
Right. Well, I thought Wasteland 2 was supposed to be kind of like Fallout, because wasn't
Fallout's...
Wasteland 1 like the
Fallout has grid-based combat as well.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
I've never played the original two Fallout, so I thought they were more like Crusader or like Syndicate or whatever. The original Syndicate.
I mean, they're not action games; they're turn-based, and I killed that bubble and got some gold. This bubble is fucking me up, man. But yeah, like the Fallout games are turn-based. And the action, I don't think your movement is restricted to a grid in those games. It's been a while since I played them too, but like your like actions are in an AOE that is presented as a grid kind of. So like if you have a gun, it gives you an area that's certain number of squares away.
So yeah, I guess you're right then. Nobody really does make actual action games, like this. Yeah,
because like the Crusader No Remorse and Crusader
what was the second one called?
No Regret, I think.
That makes sense.
Like those games are really fun. And they were actually, I don't think they still are, but they were for a while. They were free on I stepped on that mushroom and that gate lifted up. They were free on Origin for a little while. And they're still pretty fun. And I think they still hold up pretty well, actually.
I only played Crusader on PlayStation, but I think it was a relatively faithful port, if I'm not mistaken. Except you'd use a keyboard and mouse and controller.
Right. As long as if the controls were mapped properly, I'm sure that it would have been totally fun.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Nobody really does isometric action games. Well, actually, no. Bastion was isometric, right?
True. Yeah. I'm the guy that didn't like Bastion, but
I thought it was okay. I didn't play that much of it, so I guess I didn't like it as much as I like. It's one of those things where you play a little bit of it, and I'm like, I really like that, and then I never went back to it. So I'm like, maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought.
I loved the art and the mood of Bastion, but it just wasn't. Yeah. I just thought the combat was really boring, and the weapons were like largely interchangeable. I don't know. It didn't, like, for a lot of people that was like the best game released in 2011 or whatever, but
which is weird because 2011 was like a ridiculously good year.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do anything to these statues, so I think and I need a key for this door.
So I've been, speaking of Zelda likes, I've been playing more of Link's Awakening lately.
Mm-hmm.
And
how's that treating you?
I like it. The jumping doesn't bother me as much as it seems to bother you. But what does kind of bother me is that, like, I get that the Game Boy only had 2 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff where it's like, there's items that I got that I'm like, you probably could have mapped this to some other way of controlling it instead of making me have to change out items every time I want to do something different. Or like if I want to take a long jump, I have to unequip my sword so I can equip the Pegasus boots and the rock feather so that I can do a running jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe like just like a double tap to dash would have been fine instead of making me equip and unequip the Pegasus boots all the time, or something like that. But,
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's also an old Game Boy game, so
it is. Well, but it was 4 years after the Game Boy came out. I mean, it's post Link to the Past. So I feel like, but I do like. I mean, I like the dungeon design, and the world map so far seems like it's just big enough.
There we
go. Even though the map is kind of frustrating, because like there's a map, but it doesn't show many details, and it doesn't really tell you if you can get in, like if there's a way to actually pass through to a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it'll be like if you look at the map, you're like, oh, I can get here from there, and then you go there, and like there's like trees in the way, so you can't actually just walk from one screen to the next, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I found that was the thing that frustrated me the most in that game, was trying to navigate the overworld.
Yeah. But I overall I would say that I like it. It's a pretty good Zelda game so far. I'm gonna keep playing it. I mean, I'd like to finish it. I'm about halfway through. Like I'm about to go into the 4th dungeon, and I think there are 8 dungeons. So
it must have opened a door someplace.
I was gonna say, it seems really weird that you hit that switch and then just walked over there and got 5.
It may have opened that door down there. I don't know. Maybe if I go back out this way and then jump back down there. Hit this. And come back over here. Didn't I have some... I thought I had some items that would restore my health, but...
Guess not.
It's a little
like
hard.
Bioshock, where every time you pick up a healing item, it just like automatically does it. Stockpile anything.
Sword swing is a little bit hard to line up sometimes.
Yeah. That I find is the biggest problem with isometric games a lot of times, is that like it's
okay, move that. It didn't. That button moved those statues out of the way. Oh shit. Well, I'm dead. Anyway, that's Landstalker. That game seems really cool. I like it quite a bit. I don't know how long it is, but much like Crusader of Senthi, I don't know that I'm going to have the time to really dedicate to putting into it, but it definitely seems fun. Next time I'm in the mood for some isometric action, I will maybe pick it up and play some more. I'm still not 100% sure why sometimes...
Well, let's see here. According to howlongtobeat.com, Landstalker is roughly 10.5 hours to do the main story.
Oh, that sounds totally doable.
15.5 if you do a completionist run.
That ain't me, man. Anyway, that's Landstalker. We'll be back next week. We probably won't be playing Virtua Fighter 2.
I was saying playing Virtua Fighter 2.
Sneak preview. You know what? We'll do a double shot here on this episode.
You gotten far enough to decide that
Landstalker Genesis, totally cool. Give that one a thumbs up. And Virtua Fighter 2. Hey, you know what? Virtua Fighter 2 is a great game. Virtua Fighter 2 for the Sega Genesis is a fucking pile of garbage. There's so many good 2D fighting games from this era that you don't need to play this one. Anyway, that's the show for today. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night.